Well, I went into the investigation a year ago expecting to just cover what we already knew, but with some fresh, honest analysis. I think you'll agree that when this story broke a decade ago, it was not treated with the level of interest and focus that it should have been done by the establishment and the media at the time. Difficult questions were kicked into the long grass and analysis was muted. The Home Office report into grooming gangs released a few years ago was, I think, a bit of a whitewash. So I wanted to deal with that and go over what we already knew, but with a new, fresh set of thinking. Unfortunately, what I found is that actually there is a lot more to uncover, and nobody else is really on the story anymore. So
more to uncover from the past, or more to uncover that's going on now?
With tremendous regret, what's going on now. And viewers can tune in on this Saturday at 8 p.m. to find out some more of what that means, unfortunately. And indeed also more of what was going on in the past. I think there has been an insufficient degree of investigation from much of the establishment media to really dive into the depths of this horrifying story, and that has allowed perpetrators to go unpunished, and indeed those who supported them through their own institutional failure to go without accountability. One of the exclusives we ran last month on GB News was that a man who was forced to resign from Rotherham Council in 2015 due to being part of a council that was in denial, 8 years later, we uncovered that he is now a diversity and inclusion manager in the NHS. Yes, paid £50,000 a year to lecture on inclusion, and he was the cabinet member for community cohesion in Rotherham when he was alleged to have pushed away difficult conversations about grooming gangs in the town. He did this for the best part of a decade, and still, 2 decades on, no accountability, no punishment, still paid for by the state, and he's gotten away with it because nobody else is looking into it. Well, we are, and what we've uncovered, I think, will shock your viewers.
Well, let's just see a quick clip, a little preview of what you're going to see this Saturday evening at 8 o'clock.
I don't smoke, drink or do drugs, and I've escaped that life. I have a daughter, but the men who raped me in Telford in South Wales are still living there, still working there, still running the kebab houses. My life was ripped to shreds, but theirs have barely changed.
Charlie Peters, was it difficult to get people to talk?
It was, and the voice you just heard there was an actor, of course, but the story behind that actor's voice, you know, she's utterly terrified of speaking to journalists because she has been struggling for decades with her experience, but her perpetrators, as she says, are still free, are still working in Telford, are still working in South Wales, and she has been left feeling unsafe for years. And so developing trust with these survivors takes a long time because they have so many reasons not to trust journalists, not to trust the establishment who've let them down for so long.
One of the most difficult aspects of this, from what I understand of it, is that in some of these northern towns, it has been predominantly one particular community, hasn't it?
Yes. The nervousness around race and ethnicity has absolutely contributed to the failure to act at the time and the failure to review and honestly discuss the issue now. We do not approach this issue with that same nervousness. We are honest, we paint the facts as they are, and we produce some compelling analysis on that, I believe.
What do you hope, Charlie, to get out of this?
Well, we certainly need to restart a national conversation that we never had at the time in 2012 when the lid blew off this scandal. But also we need more than just conversation. We certainly need action now. The NCA, the National Crime Agency, is still investigating Rotherham, where it has uncovered even more victims from the original 1,500 to, up to 2,000 possibly from whistleblowers on the ground. It is true. The scale is truly shocking. We want more independent National Crime Agency investigations across the country because GB News Investigates has uncovered up to 50 different towns and cities where we believe there are credible reports of grooming gangs. We need to look at them seriously. We need more independent investigations. We need more police action, and we need this on government level too. Until that happens, thousands, possibly tens of thousands, of women and girls will be still waiting for justice.